It's time for some more soldering, and I have DI's, Toad's digital interfaces, and DI8, the 8-pin daughter board that works with the Xiegu radios, the G106, the X5105, and the G90 on the bench. The Xiegu boards accidentally came with the pins already attached to them, so I don't have to do that for this set here, but I am going to put these guys on the bottom, and then I'm going to get them all tested up. And I'm also still working on this 3D printed solder station setup. So we've got a place to hold the Pine Sill, my USB-C powered soldering iron, or barrel jack for those of you that don't believe in USB-C power. And then my solder itself and my solder wool. And then I have an extra spot here that I need to put some stuff in. And I don't know what to put in there yet. I can put in some extra tools like my solder wick and so on. We'll see as time goes on. I'm still working on getting this station all set up all the different ways that it needs to be set up. But it uses the Gridfinity base, so all of this stuff is modular. So look for a video on that coming out in the channel in the future. But for now, we solder. So first things first, I need to get my soldering iron powered up. So we plug it into our USB-C power cord, which is plugged into a high-quality USB-C power station, and then turn it on. And look at that boy. Look at that go. All good. Ready to roll. That's how awesome that is. And then for soldering up these guys here, like I said, these ones here are already done, so mission accomplished. And then these ones here, I put the pins on top so that you can make this nice little sandwich. And then it fits inside of the 3D printed cases that my friend Freddie Mac sells. I'll leave a link for those down in the description as well. But I put these in the top, and in order to make sure that it works out fairly well for what I'm doing, I do one pin only, and it'll be very, very apparent. I'll get this over here as well, because I am right-handed. A little bit of solder on the tip. That creates a nice little well between the tip of the soldering iron, which is, you know, spherical, conical, pyramidal, whatever you want to call it, and the flat surface of the board and the vertical surface of the pin header that's coming through the board. And with only one done, I can really quickly check my work and make sure that the pin headers are flush to the board, and they actually turned out really well. But if I wanted to, I could reheat that one pin, and that would reflow the solder and then let me push that back in where it belongs, and we'd be all set. Now that that's done, I can solder down all the rest of the pins and call her good. And while I'm doing that, what this board does, the purple board, is enable you to connect any old ham radio that doesn't have a built-in USB port or a built-in sound interface to your computer. This shows up as a dedicated sound interface on the computer itself, so that it's not going to mess with like your regular like watching YouTube videos sounds, so you can FT8 and YouTube at the same time, or with your microphone or your headset for your audio calls or anything like that. This will be specifically, strictly for ham radio. And so you can get all your settings dialed in the way they need to be set up and ready to roll, and everything's fine. What modes does this work on, you ask? Well, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. This will work on any sound card mode, so FT8 or All-Star or WinLink or APRS or FreeDV or anything that uses a USB sound interface to get the job done with sending data over the ham radio airwaves. And I did put just a little too much solder on that first pin, so I'm just kind of cheating and taking it back off. And now we are all done. Looking pretty good. I'm going to do a couple more of these. I'm going to do the other 3 off camera, then I'm going to test them out with the radio, and I will show you that. And these are those 3D printed cases I was talking about from my friend Freddie Mac. We've got the magnets in there that hold the case nice and shut, and this is a special edition black on green, and then he's also got a green on black. And then he's always adding new colors. So we put the board on top, the DI8 goes on top of the DI itself, and then that slides right in. And that fits. So there's 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. Oh, well, I guess I should test to make sure that the lid fits on, which of course it does. And then let's do the last one. Good fit. Ready to roll. And then next up, I need my G90, which is hidden inside of this nice little carry your digital stuff kind of case. So what do I need out of here? Nothing. Nope, I need a power cord. Power cord. And then on the other side of the case, I guess it's not technically the other side, it's just the bottom side. There's two sets of zippers there. The top side is all your accessories, and then the bottom side is your radio. And this is what I was looking for. In here is my data cable. So I need an 8-pin. This is a common Apple desktop bus off-the-shelf cable. And then I need the radio itself. We take our power plug that in. We take our Apple desktop bus cable, our G90 data cable, and it goes in upside down on the back of the radio for some reason. So that goes in there. And then the other cable goes into the other end of the cable, goes into the front side of the DI8, just like that. And then of course we need USB-C to our favorite computer. Radio, we've got Raspberry Pi 5, we've got the Toads DI inside of the Toad shell from Freddie Mac. We've got that 8-pin cable connected here to the back of the radio. And we've got our software up and running. So I want to go to the Raspberry Pi menu and I want to choose Internet, because that's where FLRig lives for some reason. Launch that up, and then under Config, we'll do Setup and we'll do PTT C Media, because that's what we're working on with here, is a C Media audio device. And if you follow along with all the stuff it says up here to create this cmedia.rules file in this folder with this stuff in it, then it will work fine. Use CMedia PTT is checked. CMedia device is CMedia-A, and GPIO line is 3. So I'm going to hit test, and when I do that, we'll see the radio go into PTT mode. Perfect. And out of the box, this is already configured as a server, so I like to keep this up and on the screen. And then when I connect into WSJTX, that is going to turn green right there to show that it's connected. So we're going to go back up to the Raspberry Pi menu. We're going to choose Sound and Video, because that's where WSJTX lives on the Pi. And I'll show you the settings that I have here. For radio, we want to pick FLRig. And then for network server, localhost 12345, PTT method is cat, and then we can test cat. And if you look, it's already green over here. So I'm going to hit test cat, and that doesn't change color, but that's kind of a bug in the software there. And I hit test PTT, it PTTs. And there's a couple of different ways to do that. This is just the one that I'm doing. You can also do it with the included cat control cable and use cat PTT instead of using FLRig PTT. But this tests out the PTT functionality of the CM108, which is useful for other modes like All-Star on other radios. Anyway, just wanted to test it. And then for audio, the input is the C-Media electronics device, and the output, wouldn't you know it, is also the C-Media electronics device. And if you look in the background, we're getting some decodes in here. So I'm going to hit that. I'm going to pick an open space on the band, which that looks pretty good. And I'm going to hit Enable TX, which on the next 15-second interval is going to call CQ. And we are calling CQ at 20 watts. That's pretty good. You can see on the Toads DI8 there are these audio trim pots, these two blue things. They're basically variable resistors. One of them is labeled TX audio, one of them is labeled RX audio. And if you take that and you turn it, you can dial in that ALC, you can dial in the volume, you can do it with the power slider in WSJTX, and you can do it with the audio controls inside of the computer. Lots of different ways to do it. This one here is a very fine control, and I would get this set somewhere in the middle and then tune it with the power slider inside of WSJTX. And I've already got somebody answering my CQ call, so that's good. And then my PSK reporter map here shows that we're making plenty of propagation. We're being heard all over the place today in the US, and not too bad. I am currently down here in eastern Texas, so about an hour north of Houston, and we're doing pretty good. So I'm going to test out the other 4 of these guys off camera, but I did want to show you really quickly how to solder them up and put them together. This is not a full how to FT8 with the DI8 video. I do have one of those in the pipeline to be made for the G90 and the G106, and I've got to get myself a 5105. I don't have one of those yet. If you want to get yourself a DI or a DI8 setup or a DI6 setup for the 6-pin radios from ICOM, Xiegu, or Kenwood, then I have a link in the description down below for you. And I solder these up now for you guys, pending on my travel schedule and where I happen to be. But I will shoot you a note with the turnaround time estimate as soon as you place the order. Up to 4 for $25, and then for an additional amount above that. So if you wanted 5, it's an additional 25. If you wanted up to 8, it's 2 sets of 25, and then it goes over again. So up to 4 for 25 bucks, and then I think we're hams. We can pass a math test. So subscribe so you get notified when the FT8 on the G90 with the DI8 video comes out. Otherwise, I have a video for you right over here I think you might enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.